All right, real quick story time. This is the story about how I almost quit my career in tech sales, and I was only 6 months in to my very first job. Um, I landed my first job, and up until this point in my career, like I'd pretty much crushed everything. You know, I'd done professionally very well in the Navy for the last 7.5 years, ranked first or second among my peers consistently around every review cycle. And so I walked into this first job thinking to myself, like, how bad can it be? Come on, I got this. What I didn't realize was there are sales muscles that I had never worked out, I'd never developed. There are certain skills that you must have in sales that if you've never flexed these skills, worked these things out, um, they just don't appear out of nowhere. It takes practice. It takes time to develop some of these skills. And I didn't know that at the time. I thought this was something I was just going to, fall into and be naturally good at. I thought that my charisma, I thought my personality was going to do me a lot of favors here. And I would just, be naturally good at it. And I was very wrong. I didn't realize how, first of all, painful rejection was going to be. Going out into the world and asking strangers to simply take a meeting with me and getting rejected, I'm not joking, thousands of times. That stung a bit. That hurt. That was tough. After weeks and months of trying and trying and trying and really not getting anywhere great, I reached a point where I was on the cusp of quitting. There was one day where a coworker of mine, who was actually the same age as me, he was a peer of mine, he had just started his tech sales career after college. So he'd been in tech sales for like 7.5, 8 years. Whereas I just started my tech sales career like 6 months ago because I did 7.5 years in the Navy. So he was basically an expert, but we were the same age, which to be honest was a little frustrating. But he pulled me aside one day and was like, hey man, I know it seems like you're not doing well. Why don't we go grab a bite? Let's go out to lunch together. So we did. Really good guy, super sharp. And he was like, tell me what's going on, man. It seems like, you're not doing well. It's obvious. You seem kind of bummed. And I was like, yeah, this sales stuff is tough. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure that I'm cut out for it. I'm not sure it's for me. And I'm thinking about trying something else, man, to be honest. This just might not be for me. I'm just not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And he's like, all right, well, what light at the end of the tunnel are you talking about? Like, what were you looking to see? And I was like, I was hoping to make more money. I took a bit of a pay cut to take this job coming out of the Navy, and I was hoping that I would be doing much better at this point. And I'm just not sure that it's worth it. Like, I'm not sure that the money's there and that I'm going to be able to achieve what I want to achieve. And he goes, let me ask you a question. How much money do you think I made last month? And I was like, And I'm thinking to myself, because we do forecast calls every week together. So I see how much this guy's closing every week, every month. And last month, he happened to have a pretty monster month. He did pretty well. And I thought to myself, I think he did really well last month. So I was like, I bet you brought home like on top of your salary, like just in commission, I bet you brought home like 10 grand in commission. And he was like, no, I brought home $60,000 last month. I was like, what? 60 grand in 1 month? He was like, yeah. I was like, dude. And he goes, I've been at this a long time. Like, I've been mastering this craft for years. I've gotten good at this. And when you get good, you make good money. I was like, yeah, I get that, but holy cow, dude, 60 grand in 1 month. He was like, that was just last month. The month before that, I made 20. The month before that, I made 30. And next month, I'm going to make more. He's like, when you get good at this, you can make very good money. And my immediate thought, and I'm not ashamed to say this, my immediate thought was, holy cow, man, if this jabroni can do it, so can I. If this guy, Mr. Laxbro, he was a really good guy, but he was a bit of a Laxbro. If Mr. Laxbro can do it, then I can do it. And he was like, dude, you got this. Like, you can do it. He'd seen me sell. He'd seen me try. He knew that I had some core skills and competencies, but I just needed to keep trying and sharpen some things. And so that day, I remember we were out to lunch together. I decided that moment, I was like, you know what? This is it. I'm going to double down. I'm going to double down and I'm going to make sales my goal. I'm going to pursue mastery in this craft. And I did. I'm so glad that I did, because it turned out to be one of the best decisions I ever made. It opened up so many doors and so many opportunities for me. The money came, yes. And I'll talk to you guys about, the kind of money you guys can make. But I'm telling you guys, what was more valuable than the money was what it forced me to become to be that good. I had to grow certain muscles and skills that have served me very well and will continue to serve me for the rest of my career. That's the value. That's the value. There's a quote. It goes like this. It goes, everyone should have a goal to become a millionaire. Not because of the money you will make, but because of what you must become to achieve it. You must become disciplined. You must become a master communicator. You must be optimistic. You must have perseverance. You must be a leader, a team player. You must become these things. You must have these things in increasing measure. That's the value. Who you become is the value. And then once you have those things, you can make the money over and over and over again. Go after the skills. That's what tech sales really provides you. See ya.